So we discussed in the last class about the root locus and also the how to read those root locus and why those how the poles move to the zeros or how the poles move to infinity. Okay, so today we'll look at the response of a second order system. Response of a second order system for a step input. Okay, second order system for a step input. So a second order system can be written as y of s by r of s is equal to, that is output by input is equal to omega n square divided by s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square. Okay, this is a general form of a second order equation. So we'll not worry about the derivation of this, we'll just take this. Okay. So here omega n is nothing but the natural frequency, zeta is the, what is zeta? Damping ratio. Okay. So all the terms are known. So how do you say this is a second order system? How do you say this is a second order system? Yes? Anybody?
Omega n.
Okay, so here there's a square, so it's a second order system. Fine. Now, what is the advantage by writing a second order system in terms of zeta and omega n? Okay, so what is the advantage that you're getting? You have the system responses such as what are the characteristics of a second order system response. For a step input, you have the rise time, then percentage overshoot, okay, and then you have this settling time, you have this peak time. What do you mean by peak time? The first peak, no, overshoot, that time, okay, that is called as peak time. So these are some of the characteristics of that response. So instead of what are these called as design requirements? Okay, when you are designing a controller, you have some requirements. So rise time should be within this, percentage overshoot should be within this, settling time should be this, and peak time should be this. Okay, so you give lot of requirements, design requirements, and then you design the controller. Okay, so there are four or more than this. There will be other characteristics as well. Okay, so there are some 4 to 5 or 6 characteristics like this, which is nothing but the requirements for the system. Now, instead of defining all these in terms of the rise time, percentage overshoot, settling time, and peak time, we'll just define in terms of the damping ratio and the natural frequency of that system. Okay, so why second order system? Because most of the systems are of second order, and zeta and omega n plays a major role in the second order system. So whatever we are discussing today is applicable only for a second order system. It's not applicable for a first order system. Okay, so today whatever the discussion is, it is confined to second order system only. So this is this whole thing, okay, the rise time, overshoot, settling time, peak time, everything is dependent on the zeta and omega n, okay, zeta and omega n. Let's see how is this, how are these dependent on these things. So this is zeta and omega n. Rise time, there are certain formulas for this. Okay, so I'll just give the formulas. I'm not doing the derivation right now. So TR is for the rise time. Okay, this is nothing but the rise time is equal to, it is pi minus theta divided by omega d, where theta is equal to cos inverse of zeta. Okay, theta is cos inverse of zeta. So this is pi minus theta divided by omega d. You know what is omega d? Omega d is nothing but what is the formula for omega d? Omega n into root of
minus
zeta square. Okay, so this is the formula for omega d. So if you know, so what is rise time dependent on? Rise time is dependent on two things, zeta and omega n. Okay, it is dependent on zeta and omega n. So you see omega n here and then the zeta. So rise time is dependent on zeta and omega n. Next is the percentage overshoot. Okay, we'll discuss the percentage overshoot. Percentage overshoot is given by e to the power minus pi zeta divided by root of 1 minus zeta square into 100. This will give in percentage. Okay, so what is this dependent on? The percentage overshoot. What is this dependent on? It's only dependent on zeta. It's not dependent on omega n. Okay, so whatever may be the value of omega n, it only depends on the zeta, the percentage overshoot. Okay, so this is the difference. The rise time was dependent on both zeta and omega n, whereas the percentage overshoot is dependent only on the zeta. Okay, and then the peak time, okay, I call it as TP, is pi divided by omega d. So what is this depending on? This is called as the peak time. Peak time means you get a peak, no? The first peak, the time for that peak, the time taken to get that peak is peak time. So this is pi divided by omega d. So is it dependent on zeta?
Yes, sir.
It is dependent on zeta. Is it dependent on omega n?
Yes, it is also dependent on omega n.
It is also dependent on omega n. Okay. So what are we trying to do is, we are trying to define, previously what we were doing was, we used to say rise time should be within this. Okay, we use the control system designer where we could give the design requirements. We gave the rise time, percentage overshoot should be within this. We gave the settling time. Okay, so we gave some 3-4 parameters there. So instead of giving some 3-4 parameters or more than that, what you can do is you can define everything with zeta and omega n. Okay, you can define the whole thing with only two variables, that is zeta and omega n. So this makes it a little simpler because suppose you are trying to control a second order system, designing a controller for a second order system, and he gives the requirements, okay, requirements for that system, then he need not give what is the rise time, he need not give what is the percentage overshoot. He can just define what is zeta and what is omega n. Okay, so with these two values you can get the other things. Okay, that's the advantage, you have it over here. So this is applicable only for the second order system, and let's look at an example. So here you have a system, S is equal to 100 divided by S is equal to 100 divided by S square plus 15S plus 100. Okay, so can you calculate what is omega n from this? I said the output by input, okay, output by input is given by omega n square divided by S square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square. Okay, now this is the transfer function. Okay, this is equal to 100 divided by S square plus 15s plus 100. Now what will be omega n equal to? What will be omega n equal to?
10, sir. 10.
10.
Root of 100.
Root of 100. Okay, it is 10. 10, I will say radians per second. Okay, and then what is zeta? Calculate zeta. So 2 zeta omega n is equal to 15. Okay, here it is 15. Instead of that, you replace with 2 zeta omega n. So omega n, you know, it is 10. So zeta you will get as, what is zeta?
0.75.
0.75.
0.75.
0.75. Okay, so you have got omega n, you have got zeta. Can you calculate rise time? Rise time is equal to, is given by the formula pi minus theta divided by, what was that, omega d. Okay, where theta is equal to cos inverse of zeta. How much you get cos inverse of zeta? How much is this?
41.41, sir.
41.41. What is the units? It's in degrees.
Degrees Celsius. I mean degrees.
Okay, degrees. 41.41. So what you need to do is, you have pi over here. Okay, so convert, and this omega d is radians per second. Okay, so this is in degrees. So convert this into radians, and this will be 3.14 is the pi value minus theta in radians. Okay, convert this in radians divided by omega d is omega n into root of 1 minus zeta square. So 10 into root of 1 minus 0.75 square. So put this in radians first, this 41.41 in radians, and then calculate the rise time. How much do you get? This is how much? This in radians?
0.4747.
0.47.
47472.
This one, 41.41.
No, one second.
That is 0.72, I think, sir. 0.72.
0.
So that is 0.722.
722.
722.
whole-
Overall right
And the
now I'm
whole
getting
answer is
0.3655 or something.
365658. 3658.
0.3656.
Okay. Fine. Okay. This is the rise time. Now let's calculate the percentage overshoot. Okay. Rise time, this is the calculation. We'll just see the percentage overshoot. So percentage overshoot is given by e to the power minus pi zeta divided by root of 1 minus zeta square, the whole thing multiplied by 100. Okay, so this is e to the power, okay, minus pi zeta divided by root of 1 minus zeta square into 100. So how much is this percentage overshoot?
So 0.0284.
Into 100 did you do?
No. 2.842.
2.84%.
Yes.
Okay. What is the peak time? Peak time is given by what was that? Pi divided by omega d. Calculate this. Pi divided by omega d. Yes, anybody? Peak time?
Point 474 seconds. Sir.
0.474.
475, sir.
475 seconds. Okay. So this is the peak time. Okay. So let's see this in the MATLAB. Any questions so far? Any doubts? Any doubts? A second order system is written in this form. Okay. And then we know that this 15s can be written as 2 zeta omega ns. Okay. And this omega n square is equal to 100. So omega n is equal to 10. Okay. So whatever we are trying to do, the purpose of doing this is to define all the design requirements in terms of zeta and omega n. That is the purpose. Okay. If I say zeta value and omega n value for a second order system, I am defining all the requirements, design requirements for that system. Okay. So that is the purpose of doing this. Any questions on this? Okay, we'll just see how to do this on the MATLAB. So you have the transfer function s is equal to 100 divided by s square plus 15s plus 100. What does this step give us? Just a second. What does this step give us if you run this program? It gives the step response. Okay. What was the rise time that we got?
365 seconds.
Point?
365 seconds.
3.58.
Yeah. Do you think it is fine?
Yes, sir.
Around?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What was the percentage overshoot?
2.84, sir.
2%.
Okay. How do you calculate this now? So this is 1, this is 1.2. So how much will be this? Okay, what is the peak time you got?
0.475 seconds.
Okay. Around that you get the peak here. Is it correct? Around that you get this peak, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. The percentage overshoot should also be correct only. Just check that. Okay. So this is the step response. But I don't want in this format. I want the values. Okay. You use the command step info. Okay. Use this previously to get the plot. You use the command step. Okay. Step in the bracket. What is the transfer function you are referring to? S. Okay. Here it is step info and then in the bracket S. So now you run this. This will give you the step response as well as the parameters. Okay. So here if you see the rise time is shown as 0.2288. This is not what we got. Okay. We got something else. Okay. Let's look at the percentage overshoot. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's look at the peak time. Is it correct?
Yes, sir. We got 0.475.
Okay. I think it's fine. Peak time is fine. And then overshoot is also fine. Only the rise time is not fine. Okay. So why this rise time is not fine is MATLAB takes rise time as 10 to 90%. Okay, 10% to 90% of the time that it takes to rise. Okay, so that is what MATLAB is defined as the rise time. But we take 0 to 100%. Okay, am I clear? Rise time, the one which we calculated was from 0 to 100% rise. What is the rise time? Okay, that was some 0.35 seconds something. But MATLAB calculates the time taken from 10% to reach 90%. Okay, 10% to 90% of the total value that has to reach. Okay, so that it takes as rise time. That is usually taken for a overdamped system, but MATLAB takes it for all as 0.2288. So it takes as 10 to 90%. That's why you see a change in the rise time value from what we calculated and what MATLAB is giving. But if you look at the plot, it's not, see 0.22 will be somewhere here. Okay, so it's not that. Okay, rise time is 0.35 something. What we have calculated is fine over here. Okay, if I draw a line over here, it comes to that. So overshoot is fine, the peak time is fine. Okay, settling time and all we'll see later. Okay, yeah. So whatever formulas we have used so far is fine. Okay. Any questions so far? Any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So what are the other things that you can do with this is, suppose I want to know what is the damping ratio for this. Okay. S is equal to 100 divided by S square plus 15S plus 100. I want to calculate the damping ratio, which we calculated as 0.75. Okay. So you use the pole zero map for that. Okay. See, I put a percentage symbol, meaning it's all commented. Okay, it's not taken into consideration with the MATLAB program. Okay, percentage symbol before the code is commented. Okay, so I'm running this one and then this one, pole zero map. Okay, so what will the pole zero map will give? It will give the pole positions and the zero positions if there are zeros. Are there any zeros here? Are there any zeros?
No, sir.
No zeros. Only 2 poles are
2
expected.
poles will have.
Right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we'll run this pole zero map. So you get 2 poles. Okay. You see a pole over here and you see a pole over here. Now this does not give me any information on the damping ratio. Okay, so for that, if I see here, it is showing damping as 0.75 and frequency as 10 and overshoot as 2.84. It is giving the information. Okay, it is giving the information. So, but if I want to see the damping ratios, I'll say grid on. Okay. Grid on. After this pole zero map command, I'll say grid on. Okay, and then run this. So what you see here is you have 2 poles over here. Okay, you have 2 poles here. This is the same pole zero map, but with some lines drawn in some angle. Okay, lines drawn in some angle. So each line represents the damping ratio value. Okay, so this is 0.08 damping ratio. This is 0.17, 0.28, 0.38, 0.5, 0.64, 0.8, okay, 0.94. This is 1. And then this is 0.94, this is 0.8, 0.64. Okay, the value repeats. Now this thing is 0.75. As you see here, this is a 0.64 damping ratio line in a pole zero map. Okay, and then this is a 0.94 line. This is a 0.8 line. So 0.75 should lie between 0.64 and 0.8. So this is a 0.75. 0.75 line can be drawn like this. Okay, if you take it from the center, it will come like this. The line should come like this. So that is 0.75. Okay, so what you did to get this was you use the normal pz map command and then say grid on. Okay, when you use grid on, it gives the damping ratio lines. Okay, it gives the damping ratio lines. So why are we discussing all this? Because you need to, when you design the controller, they'll define everything in terms of damping ratio and omega n. They'll not say the rise time should be so much, the percentage overshoot should be so much, the settling time should be so much, okay, the peak time should be so much. Instead of defining, if you see the step info, okay, if you see this step info, I'll comment these things. If you see this step info, there are many things that are defined over here. Okay, rise time is so much, settling time, settling minimum, settling maximum, overshoot, undershoot, peak time. Okay, there are many things that are here. Instead of defining all these as the criteria for the system to design the controller, so what we can do is we can just say zeta should be so much and omega n is so much. Okay, with two parameters you define everything else. That is the advantage that you get by doing this, and this is applicable only for a second order system. It's not applicable for a first order system. It can be approximated for a higher order systems that we'll discuss a little later. Any questions so far on what we have done now?
No, sir.
Okay. Strictly speaking, the numerator need not be 100 exactly. It can vary. Okay, but this must be of this form. Okay, s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square. This can vary. It doesn't affect the parameters over here. Okay, even if I change this to 50 and run this, it's not going to change these things. Okay, so it's going to be the same. So this has to be proper. S square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square. Okay, in general form, this equation is written as omega n square divided by s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square. Okay, so all the omega d formulas and all you have studied in the vibrations course. So the same thing applies here. And there were some formulas given for the rise time, percentage overshoot, and the peak time. Settling time, I'll do it little later. Okay, so why do we do this? Why formulas? Because if asked in a theory exam, you can calculate and write those. If you are asked to do it in MATLAB, all you have to do is go for the step info. Okay, step info will give you everything. When you're using MATLAB, you need not calculate. Okay, everything will be given in this by this command. Step info will give you everything. So this 15 defines your zeta 2 zeta omega n, and this 100 is omega n square. Okay, so these things you need to understand. So this is for the second order system. First order system, this doesn't apply. There will be something else that we'll discuss later. Any questions so far? And if you use for the pole zero map with the grid on, it will give you the constant lines of the damping ratios. Okay, it will plot the damping ratio lines. You can look at the damping ratio lines. It's not necessary to have that grid on, just to see the damping ratio lines, that's all. Okay, if you run the pole zero map thing, so it's the same pole zero map, just that the damping ratio lines are drawn. Okay, you see two poles here, same real axis, imaginary axis, everything same, just that you have the damping ratio lines drawn, and for this problem the damping ratio is given as 0.75, overshoot is 2.84%, the frequency is 10. Okay, so this is what it is. So you need, the important point that you understood from this is the percentage overshoot is dependent only on the percentage overshoot is dependent only on what?
Damping ratio.
Damping ratio, and not on omega n. Okay, so that is something you need to remember. And then other things like rise time, the peak time, those are dependent on both. Whereas percentage overshoot is not dependent on omega n. It is only dependent on the damping ratio. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So both ways you must be able to calculate. If you are doing it in the MATLAB step info, if you are doing it with pen and paper, then you can use those formulas and calculate those things. Since the formulas are simple, I thought we can have it for the theory exams as well. Okay. I'm avoiding some complex ones with the pen and paper so that you can use MATLAB. For simple ones, I will prefer pen and paper so that you also do some calculations and calculate these things. Otherwise, you will not know how zeta comes, how omega n comes, and all those. So calculation helps in understanding those. Remember, it's for a second order system only. You cannot apply this for something else, some other system. Okay, some other system we'll discuss later. Okay.